Hello, my lovely angels, and welcome to my channel, which is dedicated to helping those of you who have had your world burned to ash. And in the residual darkness, you found a light within. If my channel resonates with you, you are probably a chosen one, an earth angel, a starseed. Please consider subscribing so that you don't miss the loads of content I already have planned for you to help guide you from an ember to a phoenix. So you probably already noticed that I have two of my seriously amazing spirit guides behind me. And part of my intention for this channel, and I think part of my purpose here, is to help people connect with their spirit guides. This made a world of a difference for me in my spiritual journey, and eventually I'll get around to sharing some details about how this happened, and I'll share some of the honestly unbelievable ways that my spirit guides have communicated with me. But going off of that, a few nights ago, I just started channeling an idea for an oracle deck that kind of is aimed to help your guides communicate what they need from you in order to help you. And so I sat down at like 6 p.m. and I probably shouldn't share how late I stayed up, but within 12 hours, I had the first draft of this deck done. I've spent a lot of time refining it since, and I'm starting to really love where I'm at with it. So that will be coming soon. I will make that available to you guys and I will share it, but just know that I have that coming out and I will have a lot of content on connecting with your guides because it makes a world of a difference, I promise you. Anyways, this video is actually the first lesson in a recurring segment I'm calling Angel Bootcamp, and it is one of the most important things that you need to understand and implement if you are at the point in your journey that I've described. You need to be cleansing your energy almost daily, okay? I'm going to give you some super accessible, affordable, time-efficient ways to do this, and I would rotate them. I would do, pick a few that are easy for you and that you feel like work, and then do at least one of them almost every day. Okay. So let's get into this. I'm going to be using my notes. I'm sorry, you guys, this is like my first kind of real video on YouTube. So be patient with me. Hopefully I'll be better at this, but I don't want to miss any details that I need to share with you guys. And so first, let's take a step back and let's talk about what energy is from a scientific perspective. So if something exists, it is energy. Sound is energy, light is energy, motion is energy, electricity is energy. And by the way, our thoughts and our brains rely on the use of tiny electrical signals. So yes, your thoughts are energy. There is a super interesting experiment that I was reading about the other day where they took two people, put them in completely separated rooms, and told person one to think about person two kind of at random times, and person two had no idea what time this was happening. They were monitoring person two's vitals and kind of biological changes that would indicate a change in nervous system arousal, and repeatedly and with statistically significant results, person one thinking about person number two would have a measurable impact on their nervous system. So keep in mind, you guys, somebody else thinking about you, their thoughts can actually have a physical impact on your nervous system. Now, if somebody else's thoughts can do that to your nervous system, imagine what your own thoughts can do to your nervous system. Anyways, I'll link that below if I can find it again. I'm sure I will, but let's get back into this. Hopefully we are on the same page here. Energy is not some woo-woo new age concept. It is foundational physics. It really is. Okay, I'm not going to get into the nitty-gritty of the scientific method behind each kind of category of energy cleansing that I'm giving you, but I want you to know that when you understand how energy works, all of this will start to become very intuitive. You'll become a lot more attuned to energy as well, but it will kind of be second nature to understand, the mechanics, the physics behind energy and clearing your energy. Okay. Now, the first category of energy clearing we are talking about is sound, and it is one of the easiest to implement. You can use frequency audios. You can use handbells, Tibetan tingsha bells. I really like those. You can use gongs, singing bowls, etc. The one thing that you should keep in mind is that if you choose one of these kind of bell adjacent ways of energy clearing, you should make sure you get a tool that is made out of a high quality bronze alloy, okay? I am going to work on creating like an Amazon list for you guys of like all products that I personally approve of, so that you guys can like easily shop, things that I approve of. So you don't have to like go do the research on, what's high quality, what should I look for? Anyways, that should be linked below. The next kind of subcategory is wind chimes. This is a great set it and forget it method. You can leave this by all of your doors, by your windows. Wind chimes are just great for like passive energy clearing, keeping negative energy from coming in your home. And the last one that I'm going to be covering is a zero cost one. And this would be clapping and banging pots and pans. So especially if you clap really loud, but pretty much just anything that like any sound that really lingers in the air, and it breaks up kind of energies that can be lingering and helps to push them out. Okay, hopefully this makes sense so far. Let's get into the second category of energy clearing, which is smoke, aka smudging. So the kind of, I guess like cult classic, I don't know. The one that like most people will know is using sage. And so sage is like energetic bleach. I'll get into like some tips, but make sure that you have your doors and windows open when you're doing this. Sage will not only get rid of all the negative energies, but it's also thought to get rid of the positive energies as well. So yes, sage is a very powerful tool if you feel like you're dealing with some dense like energies that really need kind of a powerful like cleansing. But just make sure that you replace like everything that was pushed out with something positive that's aligned with the energies that you want to be in your space. So like it could be a positive frequency, it could be like roses or, burning incense, whatever, you feel like aligns with the energy that you want to have in your home. Okay. The next kind of subcategory is Palo Santo, and this is a crowd pleaser because it is a little bit of a more gentle cleansing method, but it also leaves a very pleasant residual energy, okay? So can't really go wrong with Palo Santo. Now, the next one is cedar, and what I should mention is that all of these, just the actual smoke when you're burning these, will help to clear out energies, okay? Now, I'm going and mentioning like kind of a few specific ones that leave a residual energy after you burn them. So cedar, kind of same deal, and the residual energy that it will leave will be like a strength and protection energy, okay? So this is great if you like want to kind of have a protection that lingers after. The next one is lavender, so same thing. And this is great if you want to clear out like stress and anxiety, and you want to have a very like tranquil, serene kind of energy that's left over. The next is rosemary, and rosemary can be really helpful for like thought clarity, for memory, concentration. It's also great for honoring your ancestors. Anyways, the last subcategory is mugwort, and think of mugwort as like all things feminine. So think dreams, intuition, creativity, spirituality. Pretty much if you want to have a very like kind of, it's like fertilizer for spirituality. Sorry guys. If you want to have kind of like fertilizer for spirituality, that energy left over, then mugwort is a great thing to burn. And so just kind of like basic how to go clockwise through your space, through your home, and make sure that all the doors and the windows are open so that the energy has somewhere to go. It's really great to pair this with visualization, so visualizing what the energy looks like and kind of like how the smoke pushes it out the door, that type of thing. Then imagine like a bright, golden, pure light that like fills your house when you're done. It's also, this is a great thing to call on your spirit guides for, okay? All of these methods are, and I guess I'll talk about this at the end with more specific instructions, but using your spoken word, saying we, so like my angels, ancestors, spirit guides who are aligned with my highest good, we banish any ill, maleficent, negative energies and all energies that are unaligned with my highest good. You cannot stay here. Oh, I could go on forever about the things I like to say because, you know, I am pretty detail oriented despite my like kind of whatever vibe on YouTube, but yeah, let's move on so that this video doesn't get too long. I just saw 11:11 on the timer. So the third category of energy cleansing is water. Now, water itself has a very cleansing effect. Taking a spiritual bath is one of the most effective ways of cleansing your bodily energy, cleansing your aura. And so Epsom salt is like a great base. You know, add 2 handfuls of Epsom salt to every bath you take. And then great things to add in, I would say Himalayan salt is great for grounding. Dead Sea salt is like a great deeper cleansing like element, and it can help reset your aura. It can help with ancestral clearing. Those are some great salt options. Just make sure you're not using the salt with like the junk added into it. Make sure you're not using table salt, okay? Make sure you're using a natural, like unrefined type of salt. And so let's get into like some of the herbs. Rue herb is one of the most underrated herbs, seriously. It is great for removing curses, hexes, any sort of bad energy or entity that you feel like you have attached to yourself. You can make tea with rue herb and put that in your bath. I think it's really important to make sure that you like wash, like kind of dump it over your head so it gets on your crown chakra. What I like to do is I'll just take one of those metal tea clampers and I'll clamp some rue herb and just drop it in my bathtub, and then before I get out, just like dunk my entire head under. So yes, rue herb, amazing for cleansing, clearing. The next herb, I'd say rosemary is great to add, lavender, bay leaves, basil, mugwort. Use mugwort sparingly, because if you don't know how to kind of like utilize that energy, it can be overwhelming because it kind of like opens you up spiritually. So maybe a little bit of mugwort if that's something you feel comfortable with. And then chamomile can be great to pair with all of these things just to replace that like peaceful, calm, you know, relaxed, happy energy that, you know, you might be getting rid of with some of these kind of like strong cleansing elements. Okay, if you don't have a bath, or this is something you can do every day, I suppose, showering. Use a shower filter, but even more importantly is scrub your hands and feet every time you shower with salt. Those are the energy centers of your body. Scrub them with salt every time you shower, okay? This is a great thing to pair with the visualization as well and calling upon your ancestors, your spirit guides. I shouldn't say ancestors because not all ancestors are aligned with your highest good, okay? So spirit guides. And imagine like the dark, like dense, smoggy energy just draining from head to toe, out your feet, down the drain, and then you can imagine, like sometimes you can put your arms towards the sky, but you can imagine fresh, pure white and golden light like filling you again. Okay, that's it for water, kind of. We'll get into it, but the fourth category is going to be clearing your space. So put everything away. Okay, declutter, get rid of everything you don't use, get rid of anything that could possibly have negative energy attached to it, gifts from people who did you wrong, you know, photos of people who hurt you, like, get rid of them, okay? And then it's important to vacuum your floors and to mop with water and vinegar. Do not use chemicals. I'm not going to get into why on this video, but there are physical and spiritual reasons. Do not use harsh chemicals, okay? Use water and vinegar for everything. Mop your floors, you know, wipe down all of your surfaces, all of your counters, make sure there's no dust anywhere. Wipe your windows with water and vinegar, a tiny bit of chamomile to kind of like filter energy that comes in. And then also make sure you're washing your sheets frequently, especially on like new moons, full moons, anytime you feel like you need that like energy reset, wash your sheets. Wash your couch cushions. Steam cleaners are great. If you don't want to go buy, like if you have couch cushions that can't be unzipped and you don't want to go buy like a cleaner appliance, then you can just use a steamer. You can use like a $15 clothing steamer and steam. That's great. Let's move on to the fifth category, which is things that you ingest, okay? So not ingesting anything, so fasting can be great. I've done several 5-day fasts, and let me tell you, first of all, they like make the biggest difference for, I have an autoimmune condition called Hashimoto's, but it can make a huge difference for like physical things. It can get rid of cancer, it can do all sorts of things. Look into it. I'm not a doctor, so do your research first, but yeah. Fasting is great, and on my longer fast, I've had some crazy spiritual, you know, awakenings and kind of like revelations. But next is drink lots of pure water. Do not drink water that's in plastic. Don't drink tap water. Okay, I used to drink like Mountain Valley glass waters, but apparently they have arsenic in them, so I switched brands. But any pure water that has all of its minerals and comes in a glass bottle, that's probably ideal. Drink lots of that. Okay, you want to be eating organic whole foods. You want to be eating meat that was like raised humanely, okay, like pasture raised, grass-fed, grass-finished, humanely raised, because if an animal is severely abused, think about all the negative energy that it is like absorbing, and that does linger like in their flesh. And then when you eat that, you're just absorbing all of that energy. So it's very important to really source your meat well. Okay. Lastly, taking binders like zeolite, borax, like a little bit of activated charcoal, things that bind to the heavy metals, the things that your body can't excrete on its own like efficiently, that is a great way. It can also help like decalcify your pineal glands. I think of borax specifically, but silica is supposed to be good. Anyways, yes, taking binders, you know, not every day, but somewhat regularly. Okay, the sixth category, this is like the extras, so like light and heat. Sunshine can be great, so just laying in the sun. Beeswax candles specifically. Normal candles, they're really not the best, and they put these like, they pretty much put, oh gosh, what are they called? Like bad things into the air, things that are like cause adverse kind of like health like implications. And so burning a beeswax candle actually emits negative ions into the air, which help us like settle all the things that aren't good for you. Mold spores, like beeswax candles, seriously. And also I have a theory that they like kind of provide more energy. But anyways, a white candle, a white beeswax candle at your door with the intention of, you know, keeping all like bad energies out, and also lighting a candle and then calling on your guides to do what you want. That's why I have a candle lit for every single one of my guides back there. And just doing that and then telling them to use it for a certain energy allows them, it gives them the energy they need to do that work for you. Okay, now let's go over some powerful elements that you can like kind of combine with all of these, all right? So first is call upon your angels, ancestors, spirit guides who are aligned with your highest good for help. Ask them to, or saying we, actually not asking them, but saying we from like a very empowered standpoint. So Please join me. And then we banish all negative, ill, maleficent energies, or simply those unaligned, sorry guys, with my highest good. Okay, and then visualization, visualizing these bad energies leaving and then being replaced with the pure energies. It's really important to kind of visualize, what do these energies look like? What color are they? How do they move? And then whatever cleansing method you're doing, imagine that energy leaving, okay? And then again, you want it to be replaced with a super pure kind of like visualization. So like white light, golden light, like sometimes I'll imagine little hearts and you guys get the idea. Let your imagination take you to where it needs to. All right, and then, yeah, let's talk about timing, I guess. So these people love to do moon magic. I'll get into like witchcraft and things like that. Yeah, that's like, it's a whole topic in itself, but they love to use like moon magic, astrological events, literally anytime you feel, okay, every full moon, every new moon, your girl is doing like sealing the floor, everything is going to be cleansed, okay? And then anytime you really feel just like, what is going on with me? Why am I so tired? Why do I have a headache? Like, cleanse your energy, seriously. It like, what will happen will probably shock you, okay? And yeah. I think that's all that I have for you today. Again, please subscribe so that you don't miss out on all the content I have planned for you guys. Expect those videos on how to really connect and build a strong relationship with your guides. I didn't make really contact with a guide until probably like 3 months ago, and literally I feel so close to them now. I feel like I know every single one's life stories. They come to me in my dreams, like it's insane. So I really want to help you guys experience the same thing. Just know that you are not alone, okay? Your spirit team is always with you. And even though when you are kind of a light worker, when you are an earth angel, everybody's goal is to make you feel alone. It really is. That's their whole point. They don't want you to be here anymore, and they want you to not want to be here anymore. But you need to remember that life is going to be so amazing and that you are never alone, okay? You have unconditional love, you have protection, and you have light within you and around you always. Anyways, I'm sending love and light to you guys, and I guess I'll see you in the next video.